We're back on YouTube. It's the Outback Quarterback Podcast. It's our top 5 favourite players of all time. Let's go. All right, boys, this is our favourite 5 players each. It doesn't mean best. It just means favourite for whatever reason. For whatever reason you like them, that's up to you. It's a personal choice. I was going to say we're not going to criticise. We probably will. We'll get stuck into each other. But, Hawley, why don't you kick us off, the top 5? Go from 5 up to 1.
5 to 1. Okay, well.
Oh, okay.
5 to 1. Cooper Kupp. This is at number 5.
It's not that hard of an audible there, Doss. You just read the list in the opposite direction.
Well,
He hasn't got an order. I didn't have an order
really
either.
have an order.
I just had 5 guys.
Oh, really?
I just listed my 5
I can
players.
get
Go
going.
for it. Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
You
Yeah.
said he was no good the other week,
Yeah,
didn't
he's done now, but he's still one of my favourite players.
Fair enough.
The Triple Crown, obviously, he won me a fantasy title that year. I picked him up in like 3rd or 4th round of a redraft. It was magic.
Do you just sorry for interjecting?
Yes, they will all be fantasy.
Do you think they're all
relevant for
like
him.
5 players that have won in fantasy
Yeah,
championships?
J.K. Dobbins had a good game for me once. He's my number 1.
They're not all fantasy
Cortland Sutton's not going to make an
My
appearance for him.
4th favourite player of all time is Marshawn Lynch,
Oh, yeah.
just because I love the bloke.
Love the attitude.
You
Love
got
the
a
attitude, the
Marshawn
Skittles, got a
jersey.
Marshawn Raiders. Do I have a Raiders top? Yeah, Raiders Marshawn. Is it Raiders?
I thought it was Seahawks.
No, it's Seattle.
Nah,
It is Seattle. I got a
Seattle.
Raiders jumper. Number 3 is Rob Gronkowski.
You know, I had him as an honourable mention, right? And
Yeah.
I just feel that I haven't watched enough of his early career to justify having him on the list
but
because
being a
I came a
Patriot-
little later to the sport than you did, but, you know.
Well, being a Patriot, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, very favourable.
What is it that you love about Gronk? Because we've all got our reasons.
He's one of the stories about rocking up to a college tour completely hungover
Yeah,
and just
that photo.
standing there, just could not care less. I think he got drafted, and then the next day he got in trouble with Bill Belichick or something.
No, in the first 10 minutes he got in
first 10
trouble
minutes.
because the whole Gronkowski family formed a huddle and started going ooh, 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 on stage, and they're
Well,
like, "Get the hell off!"
When they called him up and said, "Hey mate, we've traded you to the Bills," and he said, "No, you can't do that. I've retired. I've retired." What? You've what? You've retired? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that
And-
was to the Lions.
Oh, Lions.
That was
Sorry,
to
yeah,
the
Lions wouldn't be to the Bills. And then he goes and plays for Tampa and wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So.
brilliant.
And obviously, just his all-round NFL ability was I loved watching him play with that massive brace on his elbow, and one of my favorites.
Every time he talks, he brings entertainment, doesn't he? Yeah, I love Gronk.
Number 2 on the list, hasn't played a game yet, but Ashton Genty.
Tell you what,
I love this.
When he has an opinion, he triples down on it, doesn't he?
Well, the next guy is
Ashton
in.
Genty. What? Justify that, please. His favourite NFL players of all time.
Yeah, he is.
Hmm?
He's just come into the mix because now he's an NFL player.
I guess so.
Well, I suppose he isn't yet, is he? He's just drafted to an NFL team.
Who's your number 1? Kellen Moore?
Oh, Tom Brady, obviously.
Yeah, okay, it's boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
But it's
Sorry.
true.
Actually, you know what? Kellen Moore. I'm doing 6. I'm having Kellen Moore in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Very good.
Cowboys career.
Yeah. Pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Doss, hit us.
Well, I don't have. I'm just going to work my way
Go for it.
down the list, right? Torrey Holt, wide receiver
yeah.
for the St. Louis Rams. There'll be a theme here. Greatest show
It's
on
the whole
turf.
greatest show on
The
turf.
fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame, by the way, is an absolute joke, and he should be going into Canton this year.
Who are you?
years ago.
Look down the barrel of the camera and criticize. I want names. Who are you criticizing for this?
The
decision?
voters, the people.
Name them.
Well, I don't know who the
Not good enough.
who vote to get him in, but he should have been in.
Don't point at me. Point at the camera. They're the ones watching,
Do
cowering
you
on their
understand?
couches.
Torrey Holt needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
All right.
Sort it out. Super Bowl champ, 7-time Pro Bowler, and 17th all time in receiving yards. Baby's just awesome to watch. I love him. And I'll wrap up. Well, I mean Isaac Bruce and Kurt Warner, but I spoke about Kurt Warner a couple months ago on the pod. But I love him, but I haven't got him in here. But Marshall Faulk, he was with the Rams when I first started watching the NFL, so late 90s, early 2000s. So I missed the first 5 years of his career with the Colts, but arguably one of the best dual threat running backs we've ever seen in the NFL. And go and watch his highlights from that 99, 2000, his MVP season, and 2001 season, and it is just crazy. And he's one of 3 players to have 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving in the same season. CMC was another in 2019 and Roger Craig in 85 for the 49ers. But in that year, 2,429 yards from scrimmage.
That's
Marshall
impressive,
Faulk.
isn't it?
Just for reference, Saquon Barkley last season had 2283 from scrimmage. So nearly a couple of hundred on him. Yeah. So Marshall Faulk, for me there. Now, my favorite all-time Packers wide receiver, number 87, White Lightning, Jordy Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so devastated. We did his ACL in the 2015 preseason. I think it was against the Steelers by memory, because he'd just come off a 1,500-yard, 15-touchdown season the year prior. He was second-team All-Pro. He was out for the year with the ACL, and he came back in 2016 and won the Comeback Player of the Year with 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns. So we missed a year of Jordy Nelson's prime, which devastated me.
Have you gotten over it? You right now, Dos?
Well, yeah.
Saddens me to hear that, mate.
It's just a blown season for the Packers, for Mr. Rogers. Now, after Marshall Faulk, and he started slowing down, and then mid-2000s come along, LaDainian Tomlinson, LT. I have his jersey at home. Probably the best running back I've seen. The way he would break tackles, make defenders miss, and this was, late primary school and high school for me. The dark tinted visor on, he was just
the man.
Cool. I almost wanted to be like LaDainian Tomlinson. You go out. So if you make your player on Madden and create your player, I always created with the dark tinted visor, just because it looks boss, just looks beast mode. But his MVP season in 2006 was crazy. 31 total touchdowns that season, 113.4 yards per game.
And was that 28 on the ground? I think it was 28 on the ground,
Yeah.
and only 3 in the air. That's a lot on the ground.
Yeah. And he was a big reason for turning around the San Diego Chargers franchise. For the best part of 20 years prior, really since the early 80s, their playoff appearances were few and far between. And then, led a pretty successful period there for the Chargers. They come up short a couple of times against the Patriots. But yeah, it's a shame because they probably had a team that was good enough to win, if not for some Marty Schottenheimer coaching decisions and some injuries, and the year after that to LT and Phillip Rivers playing on a torn ACL. And lastly, I have gone with my favorite Green Bay Packer quarterback of all time, and that is
Jordan Love.
Mr.
Brett Favre.
Mr. Aaron Rodgers, because watching Aaron Rodgers for the best part of, 15 years as a Packer quarterback, won a lot of games, but also brought me a lot of enjoyment. Football is fun to watch when your team is winning all the time. And Aaron Rodgers, some of the throws he would make, the pure quarterback play, the accuracy, the Hail Mary throws that he would make, but just some of the crazy throws off balance. I'll never forget the 2010 Super Bowl and his MVP season where the Packers went 15-1. He was just on another level, 45 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, Hawley, that season. I'm pretty sure I had him in fantasy that season. It was the one year I did fantasy and won.
Protecting his ranking now.
Yeah. Then they lost to the Giants and Eli Manning, and Hakeem Nicks went nuclear in that playoff game. But I still want him to sign a one-day contract and retire a Green Bay Packer. So,
like it.
A little bit surprised to have Cortland Sutton in there, Dos.
He's not my favorite.
You know who I'm
Terry.
surprised wasn't
Why
there?
isn't
Terry
Terry in there?
McLaurin.
Because you know what? I'd tried to go with players that, because their careers are still going at the
Fair
moment.
enough.
So, I know Rodgers is still going, but it's
Yeah.
basically, the prime of it as well.
I did a
past
similar
now.
thing to you.
Yeah, I
Except
looked
for
at it
Ashton
more.
Jeanty
Kurt.
hasn't played yet.
Like, if you ask me, for, obviously, a top 5 favorite now, well, yeah, Terry's.
Well, mine's
up there.
completely the opposite then, which brings some variety. All of my guys are still playing, and I think that's because, again, I came to the sport a little later than you guys did. But
2017 draft, was it, Hawley, by memory? Was that the Mahomes draft? Was that?
When Curt started
Yeah.
following football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that-
I think that was around
I
about.
just-
Oh, no, I think it was 18 when Mahomes had solidified itself.
Oh, was it that year? Okay, I got you.
Justin Tucker was on the list. He was on the list until recently.
5 kickers.
He went Harrison Butker,
Cam Dicker.
Cam Dicker. It was Justin Tucker until recently, but for a pure player, I do love what JT's done for the kicking game. Olamide Zacchaeus is an honourable mention, of course, boys. Mike Evans, Josh Allen, CMC, they all were on the list.
Love
on
Mike
the,
Evans.
On the honourable mentions list. I thought you might have him there, Dawson.
Yeah, I do like Mike Evans.
As I mentioned, Gronk as well. But my 5, the top 5, and I couldn't go past the utter excitement machine. I've never been more amused, fascinated, and confused whilst watching a player as I am when watching Jameis Winston. Boys, he is a marvel to
point.
look at. Greg Wallner would be loving it at the moment. He wore his Florida State Jameis top
Seminoles.
to the Outback QB Super Bowl party. But I love Jameis. He's someone who takes the most unnecessary risks. He has the most raw talent and is simultaneously a genius and an idiot on the field. And you just can't get anything but entertainment from this guy.
Well,
Off field too, he's brilliant.
Yeah,
he's a
well,
brilliant
I was just
man.
about to say, just pre and post game.
Oh,
is
love it.
fantastic. His interviews and
Yeah.
during the week press conferences.
And he's given us a lot of entertainment on this pod too. So but mine's very biased towards who's entertained us for the purposes of the show.
I think a Tampa Bay quarterback might be making a.
Well, hold fire there, please, Dos. Number 4. Now, you guys won't really believe this because, yes, I wrote him off a year or two ago, but this is only another reason why he is on the list now because he proved me wrong so many times. That's Derrick Henry.
Oh, the king!
He is King Henry. He's an incredible. I mean, I didn't name my son after him, despite the rumors. But he was probably the first running back that I really looked at and expected every time he gets the ball, he's going to do something incredibly special, right? And he's 190 plus centimeters. He's a centre half forward size in football, in Australian football, but runs like a track athlete. He's one of the strongest players I've ever seen. He's pure entertainment. He just does special things, Dos, and he's been consistently dominant the whole time that I've been doing this show. So whether it was for the Titans, whether it's for the Ravens, I've loved watching Derrick Henry. And the other thing too, off field, if you see him interviewed, he's super humble, super respectful. He calls people sir and ma'am in interviews. He's just seems like a great dude. Love Derrick Henry. Number 4. Number 3. Now I may be in the minority here, but Jared Goff. I watch games for Jared Goff because, yes, he's not the flashiest guy, but he's super tough. He's way tougher than people give him credit for. And the story of resilience and his redemption after being on pretty much the scrap heap, he made a Super Bowl early and then was mocked for losing that, for not being able to bring them back. He was cast aside in that trade to the Lions, but he has dug himself out of the mire and done a great job of it. So I love Jared Goff, and I want to see him win a Super Bowl. If there's one player that I want to see in the league win one, it's Jared Goff. What do you think of that, Dos?
I didn't expect you to have Jared Goff in there.
I just find myself rooting for him constantly. He's the one guy I look at and go, well, I like Hutch on that team as well, but he's on the list. But yeah, Goff, love Goffy. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes, obvious Chiefs fan. I don't need to say much more. A lot of people hate him, and we understand the reasons why, but you can't deny he's brought something special to the league over the last 7 or 8 years. He's been instantly successful. There aren't many players in many sports, let alone just the NFL, that have been as instantly impactful as him outside of Brady and guys like that. So Mahomes is 2. But number 1, you foreshadowed it, Dos. You guessed it. Baker Mayfield. When I thought about this exercise, boys, I thought, what makes me love a player? It's gutsiness. It's talent. It's a bit of screw you attitude. It's redemption. It's persistence.
Bit of heart, isn't it?
Bit of heart, character, a bit of fun, bit of excitement. And nobody embodies that more than Baker Mayfield. From his early days at the Browns where they cast him aside and they screwed him over for Deshaun Watson, of all people. Then to his battle, remember, with Sam Darnold.
After he got him to the playoffs.
That's right. And when they hadn't been there for quite a while, Dos, and remember, they used to win 0 games a year, that franchise. They got rid of Mayfield, sent him to the Panthers. He battled with Sam Darnold. Then he got on a plane and won an MNF game for the Rams randomly the day after he got into the building.
Against the Raiders?
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. It was an extraordinary feat, and he was on the panel almost in tears with happiness afterwards. That didn't last. He ends up at the Bucs, and we all go, Baker. Baker's not going to reach any great heights, but he has transformed himself and that team, really. I mean, I know they won one with Brady, but they were a little lost post-Brady. What do you do after Brady? It's a question the Patriots are still trying to figure out and hopefully have solved it now. But I can't go past Baker because he has entertained and enthralled all 3 of us ever since we started this pod, Dos.
Yeah, Baker Reagan, 4,500 yards last season as well. That was a career high, 41 touchdowns.
He's productive, man.
Which was also a career high. And to your point, where he came from in that season where he went 2-8 as a starter, 1-5 with Carolina, and then that 1-3 that ran. I think it was a Thursday night game. Actually, Thursday night. It was a TNF game. That one. And went 1-3, but yeah, and then the redemption, 100%, taking Tampa to the playoffs the last 2 seasons. It's a great story.
It is a good story.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how Tampa go this year again, running it back with virtually the same personnel on offense, apart from Liam Cohen as offensive coordinator, but the key pieces are there, and Egbuka, who they added.
Well, we did a video, Dos, on
they're an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, we did a video on why they're underrated,
which
you speak to all the reasons why they might be good. So check that out on the YouTube. We'll be back next week with another mini-ep.